When programming the matrix outputs, there are several button actions to choose from, such as latched, on-off with optional flash override, strobe, programmable strobed output with optional SOS flash, none, removes the button from the screen, momentary, on while being pressed, dimming, acts as a latched action with adjustable output. Let's review each action and the options you will find within each button menu. Latched creates a simple on-off toggled output. This is the most common button action. This would be the perfect output for lights or any other device you need to simply turn on and off. When selecting a latched output, you will have a few options to select from and program, aside from the icon and name. Level changes the percentage of output on the channel. For example, if you had a light that you always wanted to illuminate dimmer than full output, you could reduce the level to create a dim accent light. Enabling flash override gives you the ability to create a flashing output by turning on that button using a long press on the screen. Once enabled, you can create a custom flash pattern by changing the on and off time of the output. Creating dependencies gives you the ability to create channel rules. Mode will create a block rule or a force rule. We will talk more about programming and using dependencies in our advanced dependencies video. Delay allows you to program the amount of time it will take the output channel to turn on once the button is pressed, up to 3 minutes. Finally, the switch off option lets you choose how you want the output to turn off. Selecting with ignition is exactly what it says. If the channel is on when the ignition turns off, this output channel will turn off. With timer, the output channel will remain on for a set time after turning on the output. This will still turn off with ignition, which brings us to the next option. With ignition, then timer. This option will remain on for the program time up to 24 hours, even after the ignition is turned off. For example, courtesy lights. Save state means the output will remember the last state it was in when the ignition was turned off. For example, it will turn on with the ignition if the output channel was on when the ignition is turned off. Selecting strobe gives you a 20 Hz flashing output. You can select the level of this output by changing it here, and you have the same dependency options as in the latched button action settings. Selecting yes for SOS gives you the ability to quickly use that light source as an SOS signal by turning on that button using a long press on the screen. The strobe channel has the same switch off options as the latched output. Selecting action none disables that channel button on the home screen. Momentary is pretty straightforward. You could use this action for a horn or any device you want to be able to have on while pressing the button. You can change the level of this output as well as creating dependencies as discussed earlier. Selecting the button action dimming allows you to dim an output on the fly by long pressing the button, which brings up the level slider. This is different from selecting the level within the output channel programming. Dimming is fully adjustable at all times without going into the programming menu. You can create dependencies and also set how this output level turns off.